Massive protests breaking out in Mexico City. More than 100 police officers were injured in these violent clashes outside of the National Palace. The unrest follows the assassination of a mayor who had criticized Sheinbaum's approach to fighting drug cartels. Demonstrators, many of them Gen Z, accused the president of ignoring cartel violence and rejecting U.S. help to combat it. Leonardo Falcon and Ignacio Gonzalez are here. They have a podcast called the Leo and Nacho podcast in Mexico, and we've had them on many times on Fox Noticias. I'll start with you, Leo. Why don't you just explain to the American people what is happening at this moment, because Mexico is in full revolt right now.
What did I say, everybody? There's always a boiling point. As soon as the people in any country get sick and tired of their government not doing what keeps them able to be in peace in their own country without having to resort to leaving their country and find another country to find peace for themselves and their families, I've been saying on this channel, these people need to start revolting against their governments to fix their government, put their government in check. Instead of running away and coming to the United States of America like it's the safe haven, collect yourselves together, have a mission, have a leader represent you guys in this mission to make your government listen to you. The governments don't rule this world. We should make the governments known that it's we the people, regardless which country you're at. We rule the country.
First of all, good morning to the United States and good morning to you, Rachel. And what Mexico is currently facing is a national awakening. What we're looking at, what you're probably looking at in the screens, is a protest of the Gen Z movement in Mexico, where there are no parties that they are leading this. It's the youth, it's the Mexican people. It's not about the left, it's not about the right, it's about the Mexican people wanting the best for the country. And we're all together in this protest, we're all together for a better country, and we see it. It's beautiful, it's beautiful. We saw over more than 100,000 people during the streets of Mexico, and it was pretty impressive from our part to see it for the first time, and we were actually there. So we're very happy of the people that showed up in the country and that they are pushing for a change.
And listen, I'm not saying that I condone violence and I'm promoting and I want people to go out there and, fight law enforcement, fight the, people on the streets and cause chaos and destruction. But when you've been living in a country or in an area where you've voted and appointed people to take charge of your communities and they deliver nothing and allow people like the cartels to come in and take over the streets where they are the actual ones that run the communities and the entire country, there's going to be a boiling point. People are going to get sick and tired of it, and they're going to do what is necessary to let them know that they're going to be stronger than the cartels. They're going to be stronger than the evilness that surrounds them. And I don't want to jinx it. I do not want to jinx it, but this is something that's being very pushed. Our boiling point in the United States of America is getting there, where we're going to have hundreds of thousands of people going to start rising up. If the administration doesn't get their act right and what the American people are requesting of who we voted for to get things done.
Nacho, why are the Mexican people so angry at Claudia Sheinbaum, your president?
Well, in a country which you have 60 murders and 40 missing people a day, every single day, of course they are shocked. Of course they are shocked.
Yeah.
We, the youth, are really desperate because we don't see the light. The generations see the teenagers after this horrific situation. We decide to protest.
Yes.
Not with a flag of any political party, no, because they are killing us.
Yes.
That's the reality.
Okay, so what do you believe that Claudia Sheinbaum is complicit in this? We've had senators on here, Senator Lily Tejas, who bravely said, Mexico is indeed a narco state, and she said that Claudia Sheinbaum and her Morena party, the political party she belongs to, is in business with the cartels. Is that true in your opinion, Leo?
Well, when we look at what Nacho just mentioned, when we look at 60 murders, 40 missing people every single day, the narco state of Mexico makes it pretty obvious that there's some things going on behind the curtains in the Mexican government.
Yeah.
This is sad, but what we look at here in the protest is that there's actually a noticing. There's actually a noticing of all of the Mexican youth, of all of the Mexican families, that they are saying, how can this be happening? And when you have such a big amount of the population mad, upset at what's
Something's
happening in
going
the
on.
country,
Yeah.
something's going on. And
Yeah.
that's when you have a protest like the one we had yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, people should understand, not only was that mayor murdered in public with his wife and his child there, but then a few days later, another mayor was executed. He was actually decapitated, his head placed on the hood of his car. This kind of stuff happens all the time. It's totally normalized in Mexico, and the Mexican people are sick of it. Now, President Trump, Nacho, has said, I'm going to take on the cartels in Venezuela, and of course, they're a transnational network, and that includes the cartels in Mexico. He has gone to Sheinbaum and said, will you help me? But her help appears to be very superficial, not real. What do the Mexican people want, Nacho, especially Generation Z? Because Generation Z is the one who is sort of fueling this protest. In fact, Claudia Sheinbaum printed out the names of all the Gen Z influencers like yourselves who were encouraging people to come out and protest, which is like putting a list out for the cartels. So tell me, do the young people like you want the help from President Trump's administration and from our military?
The Generation Z want peace. We don't care if that peace come with American flag in the left arm or the right arm. We don't care. We want peace. The situation we're living in Mexico is crazy. It's crazy, and we have a president who prefers to talk about influencers and content creators instead of fixing the real problem,
Which is
as
the
Leo
cartels.
said, which is the cartels.
Last word,
We
Leo.
don't know what
Go
the
ahead.
problem is. We all know it. But
Yeah. You know that
she
the
prefers
problem...
to look the other way.
Correct. Last word, Leo. Do the Mexican people, does Generation Z Mexicans want President Trump to eradicate the cartels, even if that includes military work, military actions?
I think that's a great question, Rachel. And I think this question works for every single country that is facing such a big and important problem, such as in Mexico. When the Mexican people is in these conditions, when the Mexican people is desperate, as Nacho said, we don't care if it's Russia. We don't care if it's Russia. We don't care if it's the United States. We just want collaboration. We just want collaboration to end this problem for once and for all. We want peace for the Mexican people. We want growth for the Mexican people. We want the future Mexican kids to be in a state of peace, not in a state of war and in a state of insecurity. We don't want it anymore.
Yeah. Well, you are our neighbors, our biggest trading partners. What happens in Mexico should matter to our entire hemisphere, and especially the United States. So we wish you luck, and we are really proud of the courage of your generation to stand up to cartel violence, corruption, and crime, and take that on in the streets. So good luck. Thank you, Leo and Nacho.
Now listen, I don't know if this was kind of a ploy by Fox News to try to... I noticed that she asked that same question to each of them, trying to get them to say, yes, we need Trump. We need the United States to help us. They're being very cautious of how they're answering certain questions, which is rightfully so. Because I wouldn't want to be somebody in Mexico and come on Fox News and say, yes, we need Trump, we need Trump. We don't know fully who's in control of this White House here in the United States right now. What's going on with Trump doing a whole 180 on what he proposed to the American people. And now a majority of his supporters are kind of slowly backing away from Trump because he's not keeping his promises. And this is a huge problem. That being said, I've said quite a few times, and even on and offline here, that I want peace in this country. The purpose of peace is to get people together with their disagreements, and like Vivek says, at the end of the day, still come to the dinner table and enjoy a meal together, putting aside our differences. But when you get to that boiling point of people not wanting to sit down at the table to have a discussion, to talk about our differences and talk about what we agree on, that way we can have a better understanding of each other and then move on with life, creating ideas that would benefit both people and everyone involved. If that doesn't work, what do? We cannot keep spending more time and wasted effort, in my opinion, creating signs, going on the street and protesting when nothing is getting resolved by our leadership. And that's what's happening in Mexico right now. Donald Trump came in, closed the border. Okay, sorry. Nobody in any country is coming into the United States illegally anymore. So that means people can't run away from Mexico. The people in Mexico that want to get out of their situation in being in the country where there's no real leadership to create peace for their communities, they can't run to a safe haven like the United States anymore. So what's happening now? This is cause and effect. They are now choosing to revolt against their government, which is what I have been speaking on for the past couple months about the immigration issue. This is the right step towards changing the government forcefully. Mexico, they had their ways of protesting. It didn't work. It's been known across the world that Mexico is corrupt. Their government is bought and paid for by the cartels. They're going to have a president like Sheinbaum come out and expose podcasters that are trying to teach the generation, hey, we're sick and tired of dealing with this government that's just lying to us and giving us false hopes into thinking we have peace in this country while we have people dying every single day. You could tell by the man's face, he's sick and tired of it. He's frustrated. He has every emotion, and he's being cool, calm, and collective and being able to tell this Fox News anchor that many people are struggling and there's a boiling point. And the United States of America, we may be getting to that boiling point if our administration doesn't act now, because things will change by the people. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Till next time, peace out, everybody. This one's for Charlie.